Mollie, I don't think you probably have gone good. You haven't gone too far. I invite Mollie to lead us in a presentation about the work of the School for Ministry.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. My hand has decided now is the time to cramp, so please excuse my pained expression. It's actually my hand and not this. And thank you for all the kind comments and thoughts and prayers and emails that I heard yesterday and this morning. I'd like to say that the other guy looks worse, but the sidewalk looks just fine. I did ask for a picture so that when I told my adult children about this, my youngest daughter recently said, "You know, Mom, you're getting older, and you're kind of clumsy, so you should be really careful." I sent her a picture of the sidewalk so she could see that there's a 2-inch gap, and I wasn't just clumsy, although I am getting older. Aren't we all? So good morning. I'm here this morning to talk about our School for Ministry. As Tommy said, our first of our mission priorities says that we are called on to lead and support each of our worshiping communities to identify and equip lay and clergy leadership who will engage them in more fully living into the promises of our baptismal covenant. Please note that started with the laity. You, as baptized members of the Church of God, are the first and foremost level of our expression of membership. And only after that come the clergy. And then the levels, as you know, are deacons, priests, and bishops. Not everybody who is called to ordain leadership goes to seminary, and so the School for Ministry tries to step in there. In 2021, the School for Ministry began again after COVID, and it was constituted in order to provide for additional leadership education. I want to introduce you to the School for Ministry Council that was formed in 2022. So if you'll stand, please. The Reverend Dr. Farrell Graves, Lisa Ritchie. Lisa, are you here? There you are. The Reverend Cheryl Brainerd, the Reverend Dr. Jeff Douglas, Ginger Powell, and myself. We make up the School for Ministry Council. Thank you. In effect, the School for Ministry is the local seminary. And in prior conventions, the bishop exhorted people to consider whether they are called to ministry in an ordained fashion because of these small churches that Tommy talked about that have such need, but not as many financial resources. And we have had 3 people step forward, and then 4 more, who are going to go through the School for Ministry process rather than going to seminary so that they can be bivocational priests. So right now we have 5 currently in the School for Ministry working toward ordination, 3 to be deacons and 2 bivocational priests. And then we have the 4 new postulants you were introduced to a few minutes ago, all on the priest track. They attend the Alternative Clergy Training Program at Sewanee, which is a 2-year program going 2 weeks in January and 2 weeks in June. And that covers the academic portion of training. But there's a lot more that goes into formation of clergy. And this local school for ministry is what fills in those gaps. And the School for Ministry meets 6 times a year, 3 times in the fall and 3 times in the spring. One of both fall and spring are an overnight at Trinity Center. And we cover a wide variety of topics. Things like liturgy, the business aspects of a parish, congregational development, canons for the church. And we know that one area that's lacking has been pastoral care. We need to make sure that these future clergy members have been well formed for pastoral care, particularly those who are going to be priests. And so in the fall, we are starting a program for those in the School for Ministry through the Community of Hope. Now, some of you have already done this program, and you know that it is a valuable program, but is not fully pastoral care. So it will be offered to all of those in the School for Ministry, and then those who are going to be priests will have additional work that's more CPE-like, except that we can't call it that, so we're calling it PPE, Practical Pastoral Education. No copyright infringement there. And it's time-consuming, but very, very important. Now, I started off by saying that the laity is the largest portion and biggest and most important part of our church. And to that end, we will be opening up this Community of Hope program in the fall to a limited number of laity people. So we'll let you know when you can sign up for that. And I hope that you will. So we are focused on training clergy, but we will be opening up more toward training laity. Community of Hope will be the first part, but then we have plans to offer training for things like being a LEM, lay Eucharistic minister, or a visiting Eucharistic minister, or a license to preach, or a license to lead worship. Now, lots of folks are already doing these things, not the LEMs and the VEMs and the leading of worship, and you've been trained by your churches or by somebody in your deanery, but we'd like to be able to make this available across the diocese so that we can have some consistency, and those small parishes that don't have the leadership to train them will be able to have that additional training. School for Ministry is a work in progress. It needs more, but your School for Ministry Council is hard at work to make that happen. And I thank them, and I thank y'all for your support.
Thank you, Molly. Again, you will recognize Molly and hopefully the other folks in the room who stood, who are part of the council. This is a work in progress that I'm excited to see happening and very much supportive of the work.